Just to continue with our program, we wanted to have an inspiring interview, and we have for you a very interesting gentleman here, Guillaume Pierre. He's the coordinator of the FogGuru project. Guillaume, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Before we get into the project and what it's all about, did you have something nice for lunch?
I did have a very good sandwich from my local bakery.
Perfect. It's good to keep those glucose levels up, so it's very important. Great. So Guillaume, the FogGuru project, it's all about training the next generation of European fog computing experts. Before we get into the project and the activities that you're doing, can you just explain to us in a very simple way, what is fog computing? I think a lot of us know or have heard about cloud computing, but how is fog computing different, please?
Right. It's actually very simple. Fog computing is, I would say, the next generation of technologies after cloud computing, or to extend cloud computing. The idea is that if you have a lot of data to process, let's say they come from your smart city, and you want to process those data, then the first idea that comes to mind is to ship them to a cloud platform and to process them over there. But that means that your data needs to go through a very long network pipe, and that creates latency, creates limitations in capacity. It means that if you have any networking issue, then your data stream may be interrupted. The fog aims to extend cloud computing with additional servers, but located very close to the source. So probably in your city, there would be some servers which are used to actually process or pre-process the data, such that you will have much faster reaction times and much less data need to go through a very long distance.
Great. So it's really about improving that data value chain. I think a lot of the discussions earlier this morning were also really about how data can really enable a lot of the city solutions, these smart city solutions. Really interesting. So tell me a bit more. So the FogGuru project, you're the coordinator, but how did it come about? One, and two, what are you working on in this project?
So basically, we created the project because we thought there was those fascinating technologies coming up, and we felt that we would like to be involved in their creation, and also the project has a very important focus on training the doctoral students who are part of the project. The project is called FogGuru, so we call them the gurus, such that we are creating a small generation of researchers who really understand those technologies, who really understand all the issues of those topics and the solutions. So really to feed Europe with people who are extremely highly trained in those technologies.
So they're doctoral students. Do they all have beards? Because that's sort of the stereotypical.
Well, no. Well, first, some of them are women, so and they do not have beards. Exactly. But basically, we wanted to have this bunch of, let's say, future specialists. So that this is how they came to be known as the gurus.
Brilliant. And can you just explain a bit the activities that you're doing in the project? And I invite people very much to go to the exhibitor zone, also to visit your exhibition stand, but also to visit the website of FogGuru. And there you see, the living labs, the use cases. What are some of the interesting activities you have been doing, Guillaume? And what are some of the results? Could you give us a flavor there? Guillaume, I think the feed just stopped for a bit. Did you hear my question, or do you want me to repeat it? Ladies and gentlemen, I think Guillaume is experiencing some technical difficulties. Let's just give him a moment so we can reestablish the connection. These things happen. Absolutely okay. As I mentioned earlier, if you have the chance, please go have a look at the FogGuru project's website. But also you have the option, if you go to the exhibitor stand using our platform, to visit the FogGuru project but also the many other initiatives. So we have more than 55 initiatives there. Perfect. I think Guillaume is almost back. Hi, Guillaume. We had a bit of a technical difficulty there. Guillaume, can you hear me again?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, just fine. And don't worry, I was just explaining a bit more about the exhibitor stand and some of the other organizations. Just to pick back up where we left, so I asked you the question, could you give us a flavor of the kinds of activities that you've been doing as the FogGuru project? If you go to the website, you'll see these living labs, the use cases. What are those and what are some of the results?
So basically, the Living Lab, the idea was to gather those PhD students together and to make them apply their research to a practical problem. So actually, we addressed two main use cases. The first one was, so we went to the city of Valencia in Spain, beautiful city, beautiful environment. And we worked with the company in charge of distributing drinking water to the population. And basically, those people have been deploying smart water meters in the city for a very long time. And now they have, I think, more than 500,000 of them in the city. And those meters actually report how much water has been consumed. We work with them on the new generation of those technologies, on exploiting fog technologies to actually process the data, for example, such that we can detect if there is a water leak in your house, we can see that there has been some abnormal pattern of consumption, and we can send you a text message or something to tell you, well, there must be some problem in your house. The second part of the Living Lab, we worked with La Marina, so that's the harbor for pleasure boats in Valencia. And we actually deployed a lot of sensors to measure environmental conditions, the winds, the weather, the water quality, also to know if people are entering or leaving the zones. And then we have created this fog platform where we organized a hackathon where people developed applications to exploit those data. We had some very interesting applications being developed. So as an example of what fog computing technologies could bring. And that platform will remain operational. So actually the people in Valencia intend to keep using this as a training environment where they can have students, citizens, entrepreneurs come and get a first taste about fog computing technologies.
Brilliant. And Guillaume, you're giving me a lot of nostalgia trips because I did my Erasmus in Valencia, so I have sort of
beautiful place,
beautiful city indeed. And again, it's very, very interesting to hear it's this data-driven approach. And you're really looking to also extend that impact, and how can you grow this community of people that can actually use the data. So with the minute that we have left, the project is ending this year in November, I think. What do you hope the legacy will be and that the project will live on?
So clearly the project will finish in a few months, but we're absolutely not going to evaporate overnight. So, well, first, that platform in Valencia still remains and will be maintained, and some trainings will be organized from now on. And also, all the technologies that we have developed is available as open source, free of charge, and we are absolutely happy to help anyone interested in making use of those technologies to make sure that the result of this work is going to be useful.
Thanks so much, Guillaume. And to all our participants, again, a warm recommendation to go to the FogGuru website, to get in touch with Guillaume. The data is open source, it's free to use, and people can also be trained to use it. Guillaume, thank you so much for joining us here today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the forum as well.
Great. Thanks a lot for having me.
Bye, Guillaume. Bye-bye.
Bye.